that is not to drive while suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor. I will not, and I look forward to finishing this June 1st.
Right from the start, a defendant fails to appear, triggering immediate consequences in court. Prior history makes it worse, and the judge wastes no time escalating the situation. This case is already spiraling. Stay tuned for the twists ahead, and don't forget to subscribe for more intense courtroom drama and legal breakdowns.
Are on the record in BU 25 TR 891, State of Kansas versus Manjeet Singh. Mr. Regier for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who does not appear. Mr. Patterson.
Judge, I have not had any contact with him since I've not had any contact at all with him, and I don't have an explanation of why he's not here. We have been receiving emails from him, I guess, but that's it. And I don't have any other explanation of why he's not here today.
Okay, Mr. Regier.
And Your Honor, I'm appearing on
Mr. Baca.
this one. Yeah, that's no problem. Your Honor, just looking through a few notes on this one, I'm not noting, I'm noting actually, I'm sorry, there was one prior failed to appear on this case back in July of 2025. And if he's not here today, I think the state's request would be a bench warrant, bond forfeiture. That prior bond looks like it was set at $1,000. So if the court is asking the state for a recommended amount of a bond, we'd recommend a minimum $2,000 cash or surety.
That will be the order of the court due to the defendant's failure to appear. Bond forfeiture, bench warrant, new bond set at $2,000, cash or professional surety required. Being in recess on Singh will now take up Standa on the record in 3 cases: BU 25 TR 1257, 25 TR 1747, 25 TR 2018, all captioned State of Kansas versus William Dean Standa for the second. William Dean Standa for the second, Joseph Baca for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who also appears in person. Mr. Patterson, any announcements?
Judge, I'm just catching up on notes, so
oh, okay.
I was behind, so now I'm ready. Judge,
okay.
As the court noted, this is a case with multiple cases involved that I've been working with Mr. Standa to try and sort out to see what we can do. I am not prepared to proceed today. Would ask the court for a continuance.
He's another one of those that I don't want him having too much time to get into more trouble. What is the state's response to this request?
Your Honor, looking over, as I know Mr. Patterson was probably trying to do review notes over the 3 cases. And as the court has indicated, clearly some of them have a few more notes than others. I do know we've had some conversation and are getting close to a resolution. I think given that there's 3 matters, I understand the court's concern. I would not object to one more continuance, but I would note that the state would be objecting to anything further. But I do believe we're close to coming up with a resolution for all cases.
Jennifer, when do you want to move this?
We can move all 3 cases to June 1st.
All right, Mr. Standa, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Let me get out of the wind. Yes, Your Honor, I can hear you.
All right, Mr. Standa, it's alleged that you went through kind of a period of time where you were driving without licenses. I don't know if that's true or not, but if I continue this at your request to June 1st, can I trust you not to break the law, that is not to drive while suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor. I will not, and I look forward to finishing this June 1st.
All right, this is continued at the defendant's request to June 1st at 9 a.m. Do not, absolutely do not drive. Don't get any more cases. I'll continue the bonds you've been posting with all existing conditions, all of which say do not violate the law. And I'm going to emphasize do not drive unless valid and legal. So continuing your bonds and counting all of this time till June 1st against you, Mr. Standiford.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Make sure Mr. Patterson always knows how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
You may go now. Thank you. We'll be in recess on Standiford. How about Mikhail Swartz or Michael Shane Swartz? On the record in BU 2025 CR 431, State of Kansas versus, is it Michael Shane Swartz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have you started your video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have Joseph Baca for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who also appears in person. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, we'd ask to set this case for jury trial. We'd ask for pretrial April 6th and jury trial April 8th.
That's our next available, Jennifer.
Just for the record, it is less than a month away. Are you sure you want that jury date?
And Your Honor, I can jump in here. I know the state would object. We generally like at minimum 30 days notice on our subpoenas, so that April date would be cutting that a bit short.
What's our next one after that?
Pre-trial is going to be June 22nd, with jury trial being June 24th.
Now, this is a pivotal moment. A guilty plea to driving without insurance. In exchange, another charge gets dismissed, which is a strategic legal move. The judge ensures it's voluntary, locking in consequences. But here's the question. Was this a smart deal, or should she have fought the charge instead?
Mr. Patterson, does that work for you?
Yes, Judge, I have those marked off.
All right, Mr. Baca, I trust those will work for the state.
That should be fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Schwartz, these are being continued at your request. Your pre-trial that you must attend is June 22nd at 8 a.m. or when Mr. Patterson tells you. Your jury trial is live in person at the courthouse June 24th and 25th, 9 a.m. Do not miss those dates on there. They're conditions of your bond. You understand? You have to be here at those times?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If there's nothing further, you may go at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be on the record in Thomas, BU 2025 TR 2093, State of Kansas versus Maureen J. Thomas, Joseph Baca for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who does appear in person and pro se, or not pro se, in person as well as with Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson, how does your client wish to proceed?
Mr. Baca, is what we've asked for acceptable?
Yes, Mr. Patterson, and Judge, we're ready to proceed.
And Your Honor, at this time, I would announce Ms. Thomas will be entering a plea of guilty to count 2, no proof of insurance. State's agreed to dismiss count 1.
That is your agreement, Mr. Baca?
Judge, that is the agreement.
Ms. Thomas, is that your agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead, Ms. Thomas, to count 2, driving in Butler County on August 19th of 2025 without proof of insurance?
Guilty.
By pleading guilty, you're admitting that you did drive without insurance on that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any threats or promises other than your plea agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and you understand you're giving up your right to trial and you will be found guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I find the defendant knowingly and voluntarily enters a plea of guilty to count two, driving without insurance. On motion of the state for plea agreement, I dismiss count one. And recommendations, Mr. Baca.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, in regards to that remaining count, no proof of insurance, state would recommend the mandatory minimum fine of $300. We would also recommend 120 days jail suspended, recommend 6 months non-reporting probation, as well as court costs and attorney fees.
Mr. Patterson, anything further?
Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Thomas, do you work?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working at Coleman Warehouse.
And what do you make per month at Coleman?
Well, I make around 500 a week, so that makes 2,000 a month.
Okay. Are you married or single?
I'm single.
Single, okay. Have children that you support?
Yes, Your Honor, I have two.
At this time, I am going to order that you pay the minimum fine that I have to make you pay, and that's $300. Court costs $108. I will waive attorney fees. Your sentence is 120 days suspended, provided you successfully complete a 6-month non-reporting probation. You have 2 terms for your probation. First, violate no laws during the period of 6 months probation. Violate no laws and pay the 408. Can you get that paid, you think, in 120 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to order that you pay that within 120 days, and you violate no laws for 6 months, or you could get your probation revoked and have to serve your jail time, which is 6 months. All right. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. Ms. Thomas, you are excused from today's hearing.
Thank
You may
you.
go.
Your-
Thank you. We'll now take up Walker on the record in 2025 TR 1549, State of Kansas versus Ronnie D. Walker Jr., Joseph Baca for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, Ronnie Walker, who also appears in person. Mr. Patterson?
Judge, I would request a very brief breakout room with Mr. Baca.
Very well. Jennifer, could you please put them in a brief breakout room? Mr. Baca and Mr. Patterson. I'll now take up Abdullah Qurbani on the record in 2025 TR 2496, State of Kansas versus Abdullah Qurbani.
Yes,
Gear for the state, defendant Qurbani in person. How do you pronounce your last name?
yeah, Qurbani.
Qurbani, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Qurbani, are you not going to have an attorney represent you?
No,
Do you understand you do have the right to hire an attorney, and if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed?
I didn't know that I can apply for that, but I talked to my company. They said,
Okay. Actually, I just realized that's an unclassified misdemeanor. No, I couldn't appoint an attorney for that lower level, but go ahead.
yes, I didn't know that. I talked to my company. They said we will hire for you, but the last moment when I talked to them, they said no, that will cost you some like more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so is your company still going to hire for an attorney for you?
I think no, just I need to finish that. It's too long.
This is where things get interesting. Choosing to represent yourself in court is always risky. The judge even corrected a mistake about appointing counsel, but the defendant still waives that right. Now it's heading to trial. Will he successfully explain his situation, or is this decision going to backfire badly?
Well, I told you initially that you could apply for court appointed, but then I realized it was an unclassified misdemeanor, and I cannot appoint an attorney. So how do you want to proceed knowing now that I cannot appoint one, even though I mistakenly a few moments ago thought I could?
No, I don't want to take attorney.
You want to represent yourself?
Yes.
All right. And knowing that you can hire one, you're going to waive your right and represent yourself.
Mhm.
All right. I will show that you're knowingly and voluntarily waiving your right to an attorney. And how do you want to proceed on this? Permits for oversize or overweight vehicle fees?
Yes, so on that day, I
You want
had
to set it for trial? We can set this for trial and you can explain it. Want to do that?
Yes.
All right. Let's set this for trial. Will that be April 22nd, Jennifer?
You want it for bench trial?
Yes.
Yes, that would be April 22nd at 1:30, Your Honor.
Must be back here by Zoom, sir. April 22nd at 1:30. And if your company decides they want you to have an attorney by then and they'll help you with it, you're still free to hire an attorney between then and now. Or you can
Okay.
represent yourself and explain your situation.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You may go, sir.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
You're welcome. We'll now take up Mr. Patterson. Are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor. This would be Ronnie Walker.
We are on the record in 2025 TR 1549. That is 25 TR 1549. State of Kansas versus Ronnie D. Walker Jr. Joseph Baca for the state. Mr. Patterson for the defendant, who also still appears in person. Mr. Patterson?
Your Honor, I'm going to announce this time, pursuant to negotiations, Mr. Walker will enter a plea of guilty to count 1, no proof of insurance after previous conviction. States agreed to dismiss count 2.
That is your agreement, Mr. Baca?
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
And that is your agreement, Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, so you want to plead guilty to count 1, the insurance, in exchange for the state to dismiss 2, the violation of restrictions?
Yes.
All right. So I'd ask you again how you want to plead to count 1, driving without proof of insurance.
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty to driving without insurance after being convicted within the last 3 years for driving without insurance?
Yes.
And are you agreeing that this happened in Butler County on June 20th of 25, as the petition says?
Yes, ma'am.
The complaint?
Yes.
Do you remember where you were driving?
I do believe it was out by Leon
Out on
Blue Stem. On Blue Stem. Blue Stem. It's the old highway or whatever.
Okay. I think, don't they call that 160th now, Old 54?
Maybe.
Old 54.
I'm not for sure.
It's Old 54. It goes between the high school and the cemetery there at Leon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I have jurisdiction, and did it happen on June 20th of 25, like the paperwork says?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then they're alleging that you were convicted of driving without proof of insurance within the 3 years, to it on March 6th, 24, in Butler County Case 23 TR 2489. Does that sound right also?
Yes, it does.
Anyone making you enter this plea today by threats or
No, ma'am.
promise?
No.
You understand you're giving up your right to trial, you'll be found guilty,
Yes, ma'am.
and you won't be able to appeal your conviction. Do you understand that?
I understand.
All right. I find that you're...
As we reach the end, another guilty plea seals the outcome, with one charge dismissed and another admitted. The court carefully confirms every detail, leaving no room for appeal. These cases show how quickly consequences stack, like
comment, and subscribe for more powerful courtroom breakdowns and real legal drama.